What's a story, amigos? This is Kino with some cool stories for today's story time.
Today, what happens when you give a mouse a cookie?
So, you read to him from one of your books. And, of course, he'll ask you to see the pictures.
Christopher Hewett reads a book about a very fancy party given by Lady Bugatti.
And a ginger ale toast for our hostess, Lady Bugatti.
And the Weintraub family reads a story about a rooster who thinks he's the one who makes the sun come up.
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the annual financial support from viewers like you, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television.
Boy, I am so tired. I must have done 100 jobs for my mom.
100 jobs? Oh, well, what kind of jobs, Kino?
Well, maybe 5. Anyway, first, I had to take out the garbage. And then I had to clean my room. Are you my friend, Mara?
Well, of course I'm your friend, Kino. Of course.
Does he clean up the room?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Well, since you are my friend, and I am so pooped, will you please read me and my amigos a story?
Oh, Kino, I would read you and your amigos a story even if you weren't tired. Do you know why?
Because you like us?
Oh, of course I like you. But you know why else? Because I actually enjoy reading stories. It takes me back to when I was a little girl, when my parents read stories to me, and I remember how much I learned from them and how happy I was listening to them. So, yes, I would love to read you a story.
Okay. Could we have some pizza and ice cream and something to put on it, too?
And how about a piece of the moon and a mountain of chocolate?
That'd be great, right, guys? Yeah. But do you really have a mountain of chocolate?
Do I really have a mountain of chocolate? No. But you know what I do have? I have a very popular story, one that I'm sure some of you have heard. If you give a mouse a cookie, and you know what, Kino?
What?
You remind me a little bit of the mouse in this story.
Gee, well, the mouse must be a sharp-looking, hip-hopping, pizza-loving, awesome fella like me, huh?
Well, you'll all see. Have you all heard this story, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Yeah.
Yeah? Some of you have?
I read it. I have.
You read it at school? Well, some of you, I'm sure, will agree with me that Kino might remind you of this mouse. Okay, here we go with If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. And it was written by Laura Joffe-Numeroff and illustrated by Felicia Bond. And Laura dedicated this book to Florence and William Numeroff, the two best parents that anyone could ever possibly want. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask you for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in the mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks in the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask you for a pair of nail scissors. Whoa! Look at him trim his hair. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. Oh, he'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house, and he may even end up washing the floors as well. And when he's done, whoosh, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, he'll make himself comfortable, and he'll fluff that pillow a few times. Can you see what that pillow is made out of? What is it?
Dust?
It looks like a powder puff to me. Big powder puff and an old powder box and a handkerchief for a blanket. Isn't that a neat bed for a mouse?
Yeah.
Well, after he's fluffed the pillow a few times, he'll probably ask you to read him a story. So, you read to him from one of your books. And, of course, he'll ask you to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited, he'll want to draw one of his own. So he's going to ask you for, what might he ask you for?
Paper and crayons.
Paper and crayons, very good. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, wow, can you see how that mouse can draw? Isn't that wonderful?
His whole entire family.
That's right, Ralph, his whole entire family. Well, when the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means that he's going to need, what do you think he'll need to hang his picture?
Tape.
Scotch tape. Very good, Molly. He'll hang up his drawing, and he'll stand back and look at it. And you know what? Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that... That's right. He's thirsty. Can you see his little tongue hanging out there? So, you probably know this line, don't you, Richard? Do you want to read it with me? He'll ask you for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, what's he going to ask for?
He wants a cookie to go with it.
He's going to want a cookie to go with it.
That's just like if you give a moose a muffin.
If you give a moose a muffin, that's right. And as a matter of fact, I think that was also written by Laura. Isn't this a neat story? What was your favorite thing about this story? Anybody? Yes, Stephanie.
I liked from the beginning.
You liked from the beginning, okay. Yeah, I liked it from the beginning, too.
I like the part where he drew the beautiful picture.
Wasn't this mouse a good artist?
Yeah.
Have you ever met a mouse that's such a good artist?
No, I have.
You have? You've met a mouse?
I never saw a mouse.
You've never seen a mouse, Ralph?
Not even me.
You have now. Can you see the mouse right there?
Not even me. I did. I seen one draw a beautiful picture.
You saw a mouse draw. There you go. That's right. You saw this great mouse draw a wonderful picture.
I want to read another story.
You want another story? I'm with you, Christina. So do I.
I do too.
Oh, good. Does everyone want more stories?
Yeah!
That's great.
Oh, Mara, now I know why you said that the mouse reminds you of me.
Oh, why?
Well, because he asks the boy to read a story, and I'm always asking you to read me a story.
Well, that's pretty good. But I was thinking more about the cookie part. But that's right. That's another similarity.
Right. Another what?
Similarity. That means things that are like each other.
There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she'll die. There was an old lady who swallowed a spider. It wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. I don't know why she swallowed that spider. I do know why she swallowed that spider. She swallowed that spider to catch that fly. I don't know why she swallowed that fly. Perhaps she'll die.
Well, hello, Christopher.
Hello, Mara. How are you? Hello. How are you all?
Oh, we're fine, and we're
Good.
so glad you came to Storytime.
Well, thank you. I've come well armed with a storybook that is full of magnificent pictures.
Oh, excellent. Another story.
Now I see some bright, eager faces here. Now, can any of you tell me What are beetles, bees, and ants called? Hmm?
They are bugs. All of them bugs.
What?
They're called insects.
No.
Yes?
No.
Oh, yes, believe me. Anyway, my story this afternoon is about a group of insects, and they are the main characters in the story that I'm going to read to you today. Hmm?
A story about bugs? Oh, sorry, insects.
Correct. It's about a group of insects who go to a very elegant dinner party and then to the theater together. Can you imagine?
Bugs at a dinner party? Huh. That reminds me. Waiter. What is this fly doing in my soup?
Oh, I believe that fly is swimming, sir. Oh, yes, indeed, sir. He is doing the backstroke. Got you there, Kino. I really thought I did see the fly, but I didn't see the fly. Anyway, the story I bought is called Lady Bugatti, and it is written by Joyce Maxner, and the pictures are by Kevin Hawkes. And here we go. Lady Bugatti is having a party starting tonight at 6 o'clock. After we dine, she is being so kind as to give us all tickets to a show down the block. Bupgy Beetle, Dragonia Fly, Anatole Ant, Madame Flutterby, Bumblebee, and you and I are guests of Lady Bugatti. Lady Bugatti tinkles a bell. Do you see her tinkling the bell? I don't know whether... There it is. Look, she tinkles a bell. That means dinner is served. 2 little mice do it beautifully well, curving their very long tails. Did you know that mice have very long tails? Isn't that a beautiful dining room? Now, what did they have? They had green turtle soup, yellow corn mash, pink radish salad, red flannel hash, with blueberry slump for dessert at the last, and a ginger ale toast for our hostess, Lady Bugatti. Lady Bugatti ruffles her fan, and that means dinner is done. 2 little mice with a brush and a pan snuff out the candles and sweep up the crumbs. Very neat household, as you can see. Bupgy Beetle, Dragonia Fly, Anatole Ant, Madame Flutterby, Bumblebee, and you and I troop out of the door in the starry night, and then politely comes Lady Bugatti. Lady Bugatti waves her muff in the air, and that means the car is coming. A bright green frog is the perfect chauffeur. In we climb with the motor humming. Dragonia Fly, she perches on Anatole's knees. Flutterby sits on Bumblebee's. Bupgy squeezes between you and me. And we drive down the avenue with Lady Bugatti. Lady Bugatti slips off her gloves. The show is about to begin. We are ushered to our seats by a gray feathered dove. The crowd hushes and the lights dim. Bupgy Beetle, Dragonia Fly, Anatole Ant, Madame Flutterby, Bumblebee, and you and I stared at the empty seat on the aisle where she ought to be. But no Lady Bugatti. The maestro lifts his baton. The show must go on. Cat McTavish blows on his trombone. Rollo Rat tiptoes a high wire. Piglet Pooh hums on her comb. Mosey Moth leaps through hoops of fire. An owl croons a love poem to a tree. 3 toads go a tappity-tap. Shana Snake ripples up to high C. Rabbit Jack pulls a bat from a hat. The theater rings with shouts and cheers, and everyone claps. But still, no Lady Bugatti. The last curtain rises, and before our eyes, there is Lady Bugatti in her orange gown with black dots all around. She was in the wings all the time. She was right there watching. She certainly was. She doesn't dance. No. She doesn't sing. As for hoops of fire, oh, not she. The blue ribbon prize she is giving is to the owl in love with a tree. How wonderfully wise. Bumpy beetle, Dragonia fly, Anatole ant, Madam Flutterby, Bumbly bee, and you and I drive away in the grandest style. And that means with Lady Bugatti. And that's the end.
Oh, I
How
love
about
that story.
Isn't that a strange story? Interesting, though, isn't it? Yes.
Boy, what a cool bug. I mean book. No.
Cool indeed. Now, wasn't that a wonderfully elegant evening they had? What kind of insect was Lady Bugatti?
Butterfly. A ladybug.
No. Ah, who said that?
Ladybug.
Ladybug. That's right. Who said ladybug? That's right. It was a ladybug. Did you all guess that? Did you guess that?
I did.
They're very lucky bugs, and they are my favorite bugs. Now, tell me, all of you, tell me, what's your favorite insect? What's your favorite bug?
Bee.
Bee? Bzz.
Ladybug.
Ladybug? Yes, very right. What's yours?
Ladybug.
Ladybug?
Ladybug.
And yours?
Ladybug.
Ladybug?
Butterfly.
Butterfly. I love butterflies.
I like butterflies.
So do I. What color butterfly do you like best?
All different colors.
All different colors. Quite right. Yes.
Yellow.
Yellow?
I like the orange and black one.
Do you? Oh, they're very special, yes. Who collects butterflies here? Anybody? You do? Oh, how wonderful. Have you got a big collection? Now, did this story make sense to you about all the children, the insects going to the theater? You see, they go to their own theater and they do their own tricks. It's like a sort of variety act. Do you know what a variety act is? It's when they put a lot of different acts on the stage. And you sit there and it's wonderful. It doesn't happen very much nowadays, but there you go. I'm old-fashioned and I like it.
Christopher, thank you for such a wonderful reading. Will you please come back and read for us again sometime?
Anytime, I'd love to. I hope you want me back, yes?
Oh, let's hear it for
yes.
Christopher. Yay!
Thank you.
That's it? No more stories today?
Well, Kino, I have a surprise for you. I was talking to Carl the other day, and he told me that one of his son's favorite books is Little Peep.
Oh, he's coming over to read it, right? That's the surprise?
Well, no, not exactly, because, well, he told me that his son likes to hear this story before he goes to bed.
So why don't they bring the bed over?
Well, it would be easier to go there. So, Carl invited all of us to go to their home. Would you like to listen to Little Peep?
Little Peep, Big Peep, all the peeps. It must be good, so let's go.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
What was that?
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh, my goodness, there it was again. It was the grandest sound that Little Peep had ever heard, but then he hadn't heard very many because he had only just been hatched.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
The cock was perched atop the pump, crowing to the dawn. The sun came up, the animals yawned and stretched and began bustling about the barnyard looking for breakfast. The cock strutted back and forth, acting very important.
Get out of my way, horse.
So the horse got out of the cock's way.
Stand aside, cow.
The cow stood aside,
You're in my path, goat.
and the goat moved out of the cock's path.
Give that to me, pig.
Pig gave the cock the ear of the corn that he'd been nibbling on.
I only want the kernel, said the cock, pecking at the corn. You may have the cob when I'm through.
And the pig looked grateful. A small bit of corn fell to one side and Little Peep ate it.
Who is this person? Demanded the cock angrily. Remove him at once.
The animals rushed over and shooed Little Peep to the other side of the barnyard.
You must be new here, said the pig.
Said Little Peep. I was just hatched. That's why you didn't know any better, said the goat. You could have gotten us into a lot of trouble, said the cow.
You must never, never, never annoy the cock, said the horse.
Never, 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 they all said together.
Never, 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 they all said
Never,
together.
never,
They
never,
said that
never.
together.
Why?
Why?
That's
exactly what Little Peep said. Because he might get huffy and refuse to crow, said the pig.
When the cock crows, the sun comes up, said the goat.
And if he didn't, it wouldn't, said the horse.
And then it might be night all day, said the cow, and there wouldn't be any tomorrow.
So never annoy the cock, they said. Never.
All day long, the cock went strutting about, telling everybody what to do and how to do it. See him there?
There he is.
Little Peep watched and thought, what fun it must be to be that sassy and get away with it. He wanted to be like the cock.
And why not, he said to himself. I mean, what's so great about a cock-a-doodle-doo? I'll bet I could do it myself.
So he decided to try. That night, when all the animals were asleep, little Peep went to the pump. It was awfully high, but there was a bucket next to it. Little Peep hopped up onto the handle of the bucket and then onto the rim. From there he hopped up to the pump spout. Then he hopped onto the lip of the cup that was balanced on the spout. And that was as high as little Peep could go.
That's high enough, he decided.
Little Peep threw back his head and crowed.
Peep-a-dee-do-peep!
Seemed to lack something somehow, so little Peep tried again, louder this time.
Peep-a-dee-do-peep!
Little Peep couldn't understand it.
It sounds all right in my head, but it just comes out all wrong, he said.
So he took a deep breath and he tried again.
Peep-a-doo-do-peep!
His voice was changing.
It surprised Little Peep and made him jump. He lost his balance and he fell head first into the tin cup. In trying to right himself, Little Peep jostled the cup and it fell off the spout. Little Peep and the cup tumbled into the bucket with a clatter that made the dog at the farmhouse bark. Wake up, Henry, said the farmer's wife. There's something wrong in the barnyard.
The farmer got up, he switched on the floodlight, and it lit the barnyard up bright as day. The animals yawned, and they stretched, and they began bustling about the barnyard looking for breakfast. The cock was confused. How can it be morning if I haven't crowed? He said to himself. He pecked an ear of corn and just wondered about it.
The farmer came into the barnyard. He was in his pajamas and he carried a gun. But he couldn't find anything wrong except that all the animals were awake.
What are you all doing in the middle of the night? What are you doing up in the middle of the night? The farmer asked the animals. Go back to sleep.
And he went back to the farmhouse. The middle of the night, said the cow in surprise. Why is it daylight in the middle of the night? All of the animals turned and stared at the cock.
Don't look at me, said the cock. It isn't my doing.
I did it,
said the bucket by the pump. The cow looked into the bucket and saw Little Peep. How could you have done it? She asked, tipping the bucket over so Little Peep could get out. The cock is the only one who can make the sun come up. He said so himself.
But the cock said he didn't do it this time, the pig reminded her.
All the animals turned and stared at the cock again. The cock fidgeted nervously.
It's true, he admitted. I didn't crow.
I did it, said Little Peep. My crowing made the sun come up.
He strutted over to where the cock was.
Get out of my way, cock, Little Peep said. You're in my path.
Now see here, the cock began.
Just then, the farmer switched off the floodlight. The barnyard was dark again, and all of the animals went back to sleep, all except the cock and Little Peep. They stayed awake and argued.
If I had crowed, said the cock, the daylight would have lasted much longer than that.
Well, it was my very first try, said Little Peep, and I'll do better with practice.
And besides, said the cock, I wouldn't have been so stupid as to make the sun come up in the middle of the night.
Well, I can't tell time yet, Little Peep said. I can't learn everything all at once.
Well, they argued, and they fussed, and they fussed, and they argued, and they were still arguing when the dawn came.
The animals yawned and stretched and began bustling about the barnyard looking for breakfast. Well, which way have you made the sun come up this time? Asked the cow.
The cock stared at the sun in surprise. I hadn't even noticed it was up, he said.
Neither had I, said Little Peep.
You mean neither of you crowed, but the sun came up anyway? Said the horse.
Oh, I think I understand, said the goat. The sun doesn't come up because the cock crows. The cock crows because the sun comes up.
Pooh, said the cow. Anybody can do that. Mook-a-doodle-moo. She crowed and giggled.
Oink, a diddle oink, crowed the pig.
And the horse and the goat laughed so hard that they had to hold each other up.
Why would they hold each other up?
Because they said if they're laughing so hard, if they let go of each other, they fall down on their backs.
See him laughing? He's
See him
laughing that
laughing?
hard. They strutted over to the cock and little Peep. Get out of the way, they said.
You're standing in our path. Your path. You're standing.
That's a funny one. I really like that.
Oh, those poor animals must have been pretty confused when the farmer turned off that floodlight. They
Yeah.
thought it was the sun.
Yeah, you know, I liked Little Peep. He tried hard to cock-a-doodle-doo. So, Mara, should we go out for some pizza now? Or ice cream?
Well, can you choose one or the other?
Ooh, gee, that's a tough choice. How about,
What?
No, ice cream. No, pizza.
Pizza?
Yeah, pizza.
Well, that sounds fine. Look, let's do our story picks first, and then I will bake some homemade pizza, okay?
Homemade pizza? Wow! Dibs on the first slice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, my favorite story pick for today is The Very Quiet Cricket.
Ah, yes. Here.
Yeah, there it is. I like it. I like it a lot because it has a surprise in the end.
Yes, and you know which book I like?
Which?
Strega Nonna, and it's from Italy. It's all about pasta. You know, lots and lots of spaghetti.
Okay, can we make the pizza now?
In a minute, Kino. I just want to let everyone know that you're all invited to come back again for our next story time. And until then,
Keep a story in your heart.
that's what I say. Keep a story in your heart.
Arrivederci, buddies.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Today's Storytime books are If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, Lady Bugatti, Little Peep, The Very Quiet Cricket, and Strega Nonna. You can find these and other books at your local library.
Major funding for Storytime is made possible by a grant from Helen and Peter Bain, so that families everywhere can share the joy of reading with their children. Additional funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the annual financial support from viewers like you, and by the National Endowment for Children's Educational Television. Storytime is a production of KCET Los Angeles.